Have you ever sworn at work? Maybe you've heard your coworkers drop an F-bomb from time to time, or maybe every other word that comes out of your mouth is inappropriate. Today, I'll break down the useful vocabulary and expressions found in the article "We All Do It, But Is Swearing at Work Really Okay?" by Kathryn Vasel. As usual, there are links to the full article and a PDF study guide in the description. Your computer crashes, taking the document you've worked hours on with it. You lose one of your biggest clients. You slam your finger in a drawer. Bad words are bound to slip out of your mouth at the office. As profanity becomes more common in everyday speech, it becomes more difficult to control, said Richard Alanis, a labor and employment attorney. So here I've highlighted the word bound. Bound has a few different definitions and parts of speech, but here it is used as an adjective and means very likely. Just like in this example, it's bound to rain this afternoon. Or, she's handling her clients exceptionally well. She's bound to get a promotion. When we use bound meaning very likely, it is often followed by to and an infinitive, like in those examples. Also in this paragraph, we have the phrasal verb to slip out. Slip out has a couple of definitions. The first, as it is used here, means to accidentally say something. Like in this sentence, a secret slipped out while he was under anesthetics. So anesthetics are drugs that a doctor gives you before you have surgery so you can't feel anything during the surgery. And some people, they start talking after the surgery because the anesthetics haven't worn off and they start saying things that they normally wouldn't say if they were thinking clearly. Our second definition of slip out is to leave quietly or quickly so that no one will notice. Like in this example, this lecture is so boring, let's slip out when the professor turns around. This is basically the same as using the phrasal verb sneak out. The word profanity highlighted here is a noun and means the same as adult language, swear words, or expletives. You know, dirty words. And in this paragraph, we are introduced to a labor and employment attorney. So this is a lawyer who focuses on laws and regulations or rules related to workplace issues like employee rights, discrimination, and employee contracts. Continuing our article, but that doesn't mean it should be a welcome or pervasive part of office culture. So here we have the adjective pervasive, and this means existing or spreading everywhere, especially something unwelcome. Like in this sentence, misinformation is pervasive on social media. So misinformation is definitely a bad thing, and it is pervasive, meaning it is widespread. It's everywhere. So just because swearing is becoming more and more common, it shouldn't be widespread or pervasive in offices or workplaces. Speaking of which, we have office culture here, which are the shared values and behaviors that shape the work environment in an office. Maybe you don't work in an office, you might use the term workplace culture instead. Or if you are a student, you might use the term school culture or campus culture, which kind of describe the overall feeling of a place. Is it positive or negative? Do people feel supported, or are they on their own? Continuing our article, while he said it's rare for an employer to fire anyone for an occasional swear word, he's had clients terminate employees for repeatedly using vulgar or profane language in the workplace. Here we have the verb terminate, which is a synonym of to fire someone. To terminate an employee means to fire them so they no longer work at your company. And vulgar and profane language can include swear words, while vulgar language can also include words related to bodily functions, and neither are normally used in formal, professional, or polite settings. Our next section begins, Don't tarnish your brand. We are all responsible for creating and maintaining our own brand, and if you come across as a hothead, someone who gets angry easily, or someone who's not in control of your emotions or language, your boss might be hesitant to put you in front of clients or to have you represent the company. Up in the header, I've highlighted the phrase tarnish your brand. Now, tarnish is a verb, and in this case, it means to make less respected. It often collocates with brand, name, and reputation. So to tarnish someone's name means to make someone less respected, maybe perhaps by spreading rumors about that person. Sometimes a company tarnishes its brand when they have a scandal, and someone might tarnish their reputation by doing something like telling fans they care so much about the environment, but then flying in a private jet. Next here we have in control of, which is a phrase that means having the power or ability to manage, direct, or command something or someone. To be in control of your emotions means to act calmly and not get overly angry or upset. Next, I've highlighted the verb plus noun collocation to represent the company. And this means to act or speak on behalf of the company, showing its values and image to others. Like in this sentence, when you meet with clients, you represent the company, so dress and act professionally. So because you represent the company, if you do something embarrassing, you aren't just embarrassing yourself, but you are embarrassing the whole company. Being known as someone with a potty mouth can also cause people to avoid you or feel uncomfortable around you. The phrase here, to be known as someone or something, means to be recognized or identified by a specific name, title, or description. Like in this example, she's known as the hardest worker at the company, meaning everyone in the company recognizes her as the hardest worker. Moving on, we have the noun a potty mouth, and this is informal and it means a person who tends to use bad language. Like in this sentence, the neighbor's kids are such potty mouths. They say words I didn't even know until I was an adult. The word potty is an informal word for a toilet in American English, and the idiom go potty is used by young children or by parents when they talk to young children, and just means to go to the bathroom. Acknowledge and apologize if the F-bomb slips out. No matter how careful you are with your language, it's easy to slip up sometimes. It's how you deal with it that can allow you to move on with little impact. Here we have the phrasal verb to slip up, which is different from slip out that we talked about earlier. And this is to make a careless mistake. As a noun, it's a slip up with a hyphen in the middle. We could say, I slipped up and sent the email without the attachment. We've all done that, I'm sure. Continuing, if you're in the middle of a presentation and something unexpectedly goes awry and you drop an expletive, address it and move on. Bad language blunders tend to be accepted when they are occasional and in reaction to a deserving event. In this first sentence, I've highlighted the collocation drop an expletive, which means to say a swear word. Now, there are quite a lot of collocations that start with the verb drop used in this way, like drop an F-bomb, which means to say the F word, drop a truth bomb, which means to say an uncomfortable or surprising truth, usually to embarrass someone. To drop a bombshell means to say some shocking or unexpected news. To drop the ball is to fail to do something important or make a major mistake. And to drop a line is to send someone a quick message or to make a quick phone call to someone. Like in this sentence, drop me a line the next time you're in town. Next we have address as a verb. Now as a noun, it's pronounced as address or address, but as a verb, it's only pronounced as address. So when you address someone, you speak to someone directly about a specific topic to deal with an issue. Like in this sentence, the manager addressed the concerns of the employees during the meeting, so he or she talked about the problem. If you accidentally say a swear word, just apologize for what you did and move on. Move on is another phrasal verb and means to start a new activity. Like here, we've talked enough about this topic. It's time to move on and start the next item on our agenda. It can also mean to accept that a situation has changed and to be ready to deal with new experiences. Like in this example, he's moved on since breaking up with his girlfriend. So he's no longer sad about the breakup and he's moved on. Next here we have blunders. Blunder can be a noun or a verb. Here it's a noun and means a stupid or careless mistake. Knowing your audience. Cursing in the workplace isn't always completely off limits. When something is off limits, it's not allowed. When a place is off limits, you aren't allowed to go there. This parking lot is off limits to employees. Please use the employee parking lot in the back. Even bad language can sound more colloquial and informal, at least among the right audience. And it can also express intense emotions in a safe way. You get camaraderie, break some tension and stress, said Timothy J., a professor of psychology at the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts in the Berkshires. It's so much better than any type of physical aggression. Here I highlighted the adjective colloquial, which describes words that are more acceptable in informal settings, especially when speaking, rather than in formal writing. The noun camaraderie means mutual trust and friendship among people who spend a lot of time together. When we break some tension, we reduce or relieve stress or make a tense atmosphere less tense, often by making a joke or doing something to lighten the mood. And finally, we have physical aggression. Physical aggression refers to using force or violence against someone, such as hitting, pushing, or other forms of physical attack. So yeah, swearing in the workplace is much better than physical aggression in the workplace. So what do you think, viewers? Do you think swearing is acceptable in the workplace? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the future.